Welcome to my really messy garage. I just wanted to do a video on this little tin can stove that I put together. I've been interested in a while with different kinds of stoves and rocket mass heaters and stuff like that. And this stove I've put together is it's not really a rocket mass stove, it's just more of a tin can kind of hobo sort of stove, but I started off with something very simple and I kind of kept adding to it to try and make it work better, and I think I've come up with something that works pretty good, and it's very easy to put together. You just need tin cans of different sizes. So I'll just show you guys the different components and how it goes together, and then we'll get a fire going in it, and we'll see how good it burns. Okay, so these are the different components of my stove. Just run through them real quick. So I have two all-metal coffee cans. Then I've got a variety of smaller tin cans here. Just regular kind of tin cans, different sizes. So this coffee can is kind of the main body of the stove, the kind of the base part. You can see I've gone around and I've snipped all the top just so it can spread open a bit, and I've cut a hole there. So this can here, this acts as the ash catcher. I made some holes in each side so that the ash can spill out into the rest of the can. That was one thing I noticed with a lot of tin can stove designs online, is they work great for short burns, but they don't really have anywhere for the ash to go. Good thing about this kind of stove is it does burn very efficiently. So you don't produce tons of ash, but you still are producing ash. And if you're going to be burning for a while, it's just nice to have a place for that ash to collect, so it's not going to interfere with your burn. So that can just sits in the bottom there. And then this is basically the main combustion can. So I've made an opening here that the feed tube is going to go into, the feed can. I've put slits around the top just so it fits into the rest of the chimney kind of stack. And then in the bottom I've made so there's just small bars across, and I've burnt for several hours and it still seems to be holding up quite well. So it's just a very fine grate, so it holds the wood on there, but it lets all of the ash and small things fall through into the can below. So that just sits on top of the ash catcher like that. So this component is the feed tube that your wood goes in, and also for your air supply. So you can see I have a complete can at the end here, and I've put in a part of a can and the lid of a can. So the bottom part, all the air goes through, and the top, that's what you slide your wood in. So I'm just going to have to put my camera down here, and I'll put these two components together because it takes a couple hands, and then I'll show you how the rest of it goes together. So you can see I've just wedged it into the other can, and it makes a fairly tight fit. I think if I'd taken a little bit more time, I probably could have made it a little bit neater, a little bit tighter, but there you can see that's sort of the piece of metal which the wood is going to rest on, with that bottom gap to allow for air to come in. So this whole thing just sits right on top of the ash catcher. Okay. And then there's the different components which make up the chimney. So there's this can here, which I've cut slots around the top and the bottom, and that just slides into there. And then this final top piece of the chimney, again, has slots cut around it, and has some slots on the top, because originally I was going to use this as the pot stand, but I ended up using another can as the pot stand. That one right there. So this part is just another part of the chimney, so it fits onto there too. And then this other coffee can slides over the chimney, and this little slot here fits around that bottom piece. So again, I'm just going to put the camera down just so I can get this thing put together with this sliding over the rest of it. Takes two hands to get it on there and to wedge it on nice and tight. Okay, so I got the top can, the second coffee can, added on, and I think it just helps to sturdy the whole thing up, and to also add as an extra layer of kind of insulation so that the wood burns hotter inside the combustion chamber. I don't have anything added inside here like they do with rocket mass heaters or other rocket mass stoves where people put vermiculite or cob, kind of a clay mixture. They pack it in around the combustion chamber so it insulates it and it makes it burn hotter. So I don't have any of that going on. That's why I don't think you would call this a rocket stove. But yeah, so you can see how that top can fits on here. And then this is just my pot stand. And I made a mistake in snipping both sides. It would be better if that bottom side wasn't snipped, so it would have more strength to it. So I'm probably going to try to make a better, more sturdy pot stand. But that just slides over the top of the chimney there. And then I have this plate. This was in my camping equipment. It's actually for making toast. Little wires slot into it, and you can put pieces of toast around it. So I could make toast on this, but I've just found it's a very good plate. It's got the holes on it there. So another important thing is to make sure it's nice and level. So you know, you can see the bubbles off there, so just make adjustments to this second can here until the plate is nice and level all the way around. It's pretty good that way, but it looks like I need to make a little bit of an adjustment this way. You want to have it nice and secure just so you're not worried about this thing tipping over or dumping your pot or whatever you're cooking. So I'll make a little adjustment there before I get it going. And then you can see down here I've added the this surrounding half piece of can, which just acts as an extra little area, like a shelf for the pieces of wood to go in. And then this top lid, which I've just snipped off the sides just to get more flattened edges, and it just wedges in there. So you can see you got that air gap all the way through, and then the wood is going to go along the top there. So I'll just do a final adjustment to get this level, and then we'll get a fire going. So I like to get the fire started in this part first, and then just start feeding in fuel from this end, and get as much fuel in that initial chamber as possible to get a really good fire going in there, and then just keep feeding it through this end once I have the lid on and water, whatever I'm cooking. It's going pretty good there. So I just filled up my little camping pot here, and I don't know, probably got about 3 cups of water in there. It's about a third full. Stick the lid on. Carefully put it on the top here. Okay. And we'll see how long it takes to get that to boil. Okay, so it took about 20 minutes, but the water is boiling. I don't think it helped. My wood was a little bit damp. I had left it outside, the few pieces on my deck, so it's getting snow and water on it. But yeah, that's my little stove. So I'm going to try to do some improvements to see if I can get it burning a little bit hotter and a little bit more efficiently. But yeah, that's just a little thing I put together. And I'm pretty happy with it, but it's still a work in progress. Take care, everyone. Bye.